What if I told you Japan spent tens of millions of dollars building a giant robot that should not physically exist, a machine taller than a 6-story building, weighing over 25 tons, packed with moving joints, glowing eyes, electric muscles, and enough engineering insanity to make it feel alive? And for years, thousands of people stood beneath it every single day watching a fictional war machine slowly move its head toward the sky like humanity was testing the first stage of a sci-fi future. This was not CGI, not a movie prop, not some amusement park illusion. Japan actually built a real moving Gundam. And the deeper you go into this project, the crazier it gets. Because the engineers were not just building a statue, they were fighting gravity, balance, structural stress, vibration, motor synchronization, wind pressure, and the terrifying reality that one small mistake inside a 59-foot robot could turn the entire machine into a collapsing steel disaster. The legendary RX-78F00 Gundam in Yokohama became one of the most ambitious entertainment engineering projects ever attempted. Standing 18 meters tall and weighing around 25 metric tons, the robot had 24 moving joints capable of turning its head, bending its knees, raising its arms, moving its fingers, and even stepping forward. But here is the insane part most people never noticed. The robot was never fully standing on its own. Hidden behind the Gundam was a gigantic mechanical support system called the Gundam-Carrier, basically a massive steel spine attached to its back that secretly stabilized the machine while creating the illusion that this monster was actually walking. Because once a machine reaches this size, physics becomes your enemy. A single imbalance could destroy millions of dollars of engineering in seconds. The internal frame had to be built using high-strength steel, while the outer armor used lighter carbon fiber reinforced materials. Otherwise, the robot would literally become too heavy to move safely. Instead of loud hydraulic systems, engineers used high-torque electric motors and precision reduction gears to control the movement smoothly and quietly. Every motion had to be programmed with insane precision because even a tiny timing error between joints could overload the structure. And then they added the cinematic madness on top of it. The robot had glowing eyes, internal LEDs, steam vents releasing artificial mist from the chest and legs, and dramatic activation sequences at night that made the whole thing feel less like a machine and more like something waking up. The dock surrounding it looked like humanity was preparing to launch a mech into orbit, and people completely lost their minds over it. Tourists flew across the world just to stand underneath this thing because seeing a machine from anime towering over real buildings completely breaks your brain. But Yokohama was only one chapter.
Tokyo's Unicorn Gundam became famous for physically transforming between modes multiple times every day, turning a shopping mall into a live sci-fi show. Then Fukuoka pushed the scale even further with the RX-78F00 Gundam, standing more than 81 feet tall, making it one of the largest life-size Gundam statues ever created. Japan basically turned giant robots into national landmarks.
But then something even crazier happened. The dream escaped the statues. A Tokyo startup called Tsubame Industries built RX, a real human-piloted mech inspired directly by Gundam-style robotics. This thing is not a toy. A pilot literally climbs inside the torso cockpit and controls the machine using joysticks and pedals, while cameras stream external views onto internal displays. The machine can switch between upright robot mode and vehicle mode, like something ripped out of a futuristic military anime. Suddenly, the conversation changed from "look at this cool statue" to "wait, are we actually building mechs now?" And honestly, that is what makes the entire Gundam story so fascinating. Japan was never just celebrating anime. They were stress testing the limits of engineering itself. Every project pushed one question further: how close can fiction get to reality before the line disappears completely? Because once you build a moving 25-ton robot, once you build a pilotable mech cockpit, once you prove giant articulated machines can function in the real world, the idea stops feeling impossible. It just becomes expensive. But here's the part nobody expected. Japan eventually shut the entire moving Gundam down. After becoming one of the most famous robots on Earth, the RX-78F00 Gundam in Yokohama was dismantled piece by piece. And no, it was not because the project failed. The real reasons are way more brutal. The Gundam factory was always temporary from the beginning, built on a limited land lease near the coast, where salty sea air, humidity, corrosion, strong winds, and constant movement were slowly becoming a long-term maintenance nightmare. And when you have a 25-ton machine moving multiple times every single day, wear and tear becomes terrifyingly expensive. Every joint, every actuator, every support system slowly gets stressed over time. Keeping a giant moving robot alive is not just difficult, it is a full-time battle against physics itself. The salty coastal environment increased the risk of rust and mechanical failure, while the constant vibration from movement created long-term stress on the structure and the dock underneath it. Engineers knew the machine could not stay there forever without major reconstruction costs. But the craziest part is they did not destroy it forever. The parts were preserved and moved for Japan's Expo 2025 projects, meaning the Gundam is basically evolving into its next form instead of disappearing completely.